जयपुर वाया कोटा
कृपया ध्यान आपो अहमदाबाद
दिल्ली में आपका स्वागत
ಲಕ್ನೋ ಜಂಕ್ಷನ್
ನಿಲ್ದಾಣದ ಕಡೆಗೆ ಹೊರಟಿರುವವರೇ
Hyderabad Punjab Express পরবর্তী স্টেশন নেতাজি ভবন कृपया ध्यान दियो
Well, the usual Punjab business model, a poor power play, a poor first 10, and then some rearguard action, lots of big hits in the end, and gets them to a score of, well, respectability. I don't know, we'll know that in a bit, but it has got them to quite close to 150. Looked tough at the halfway stage, but they've got to 147 for 8 with a little help from the Rajasthan fielders. But hey, you make your own luck, and once you get a drop, you go. And Ashutosh got dropped at 9, but eventually getting 31 of 16. Their highest scorer, he of course was their impact sub, brought in with 4 overs to go. On the other side, a good day in general for the Rajasthan bowlers after they put Punjab into bat. Well, you're watching Cricbuzz Live. I'm Gaurav Kapur. With me, Simon Doull and Adam Gilchrist. Dooley, the bowlers will be happy with most part of that innings.
I think very much so. Spinners did a great job. Maharaj coming into the side was brilliant. Bolt finished off nicely after a good start. And, I mean, to a man, 1 for 35, the worst of the figures. So you take that any day of the week. When no one's going over 9, and you're only using 5 bowlers, that's an exceptional performance. I think right across the board, they've done a terrific job.
Yeah, and for Keshav Maharaj, big boots to fill, right? When you Ravichandran Ashwin been very good in the IPL, been very good for this franchise. Of course, injured today or had a niggle. Keshav, good thing was he got a game in the last game as an impact sub. Hey, he was like a net bowler till a couple of weeks ago, and now he's in the thick of it.
Yeah, he could have had another one. A very close call on another LB to Jitesh when he first came in. But
Yeah.
he's an experienced campaigner now, Maharaj, across international cricket. So, and the conditions, I think that pitch suited him. Whilst it wasn't turning big sharp turn, there was just enough. And the one to get Bairstow was excellent build up. They just built that pressure up on Johnny Bairstow, and he's just been suffocated, hasn't he? And that was an interesting stroke, but it did turn and bounce a little bit. So, yeah, highly skilled operator, Maharaj. So, well done on his selection by Rajasthan Royals, getting him in and then getting him out on the playing arena.
I mean, Maharaj can mean two things. It obviously means king. And the other Maharaj is also the head chef or the head cook. Today he pretty much cooked Punjab, didn't he?
Yeah, look, he's become an exceptional bowler in all formats. Yeah. And there was probably, going back maybe 2 seasons, that they didn't really see him as a white ball cricketer at all. 2.5, 3 seasons. And, they used Shamsi a lot more than him in white ball cricket in South Africa. But he's become their number 1 man. Yeah. He's he really worked out. He flights it nicely, can hit the line and a length very, very well. Just turns it enough when he has to, and he's really become an integral part of South Africa's white ball side as much as he has their test side. So he's obviously seen that he needed to maybe change a couple of things to play a lot more white ball cricket, but he's certainly skillful and wily campaigner. So it's another, and they've done it again with just 5 bowlers. And they time and time again, Rajasthan, they just 5 bowlers, that's it, do your job.
Yeah.
You got to bowl your 4, just front up and do it. And they just get the job done.
And getting the job done in style. And their leader, of course, the leader of the pack or the leader of all the bowlers is Yuzvendra Chahal. He's got the purple cap on his head. And probably could have, I don't know if could have had another one or not. But he was, again, just doing Yuzi things.
Yeah, again, a pitch that suited his style of bowling. I mean, he can hurry batters up if it's a bit dewy and skidding it on and getting it in there fast, but it just held a bit. It's always tough to take on a guy like him on hitting into the breeze on a boundary straight down the ground. So he had an impact as soon as he came in with that first over, but so consistent. We see that. He's at, 198 wickets, was it? That he's up
198 now.
Yeah. And we were talking about it prior to coming on air earlier tonight. Wasn't about a lot of that cricket was at Bangalore, on a small ground on a high-scoring venue. So, highly skilled operator. And he, again, like Maharaj, he's such a feature at international and has been at international level for so long. So opportunities like that on wickets that are conducive to slower bowling and just holding it up a fraction he can just take a little bit of pace off and not try to get it in at the back end. He closed it out well enough too with a nice tight enough over in that 18th over.
Dooley, we both read a lot of, we see a lot of memes, a lot of stuff on social media, and I think it comes up in all the polls, all the fans, unanimous decision. When people talk about teams that should have and could have retained a player, it's always RCB and Chahal.
Yeah, exactly. Look, 198 wickets, 7.67 economy rate, strike rate of 16.9 and an average of 21 and change. It's just an exceptional career across 151 games now. It's phenomenal. And he never lets you down. Doesn't let you down on the field. I mean, he doesn't have to bat very often. But he's just such a, and he's a real character of the game as well. I think that's one of the great things about Yuzzy. He's an absolute character in the field. He's always, you see him pushing Shimron Hetmeyer, who's, probably twice his weight. He's pushing, giving Shimron a good push when they were having a laugh at. He said, I heard a nick. And it's like, well, there wasn't for that Jitesh one. So they were having, but he's always having a joke and a laugh, and but he's just highly skilled. If they come in at him, not many better in the world at floating it high and wide off stump to the right-handers if they're coming hard at him.
Yeah, it looks like a happy place, and Chahal's that kind of cricketer. There's just some cricketers who do better when, they've got that kind of light, happy place. There are some intense cricketers as well. Yuzzy's not one of them. Intense in his game, but definitely light with his outlook. Got to talk about the captain, Sanju Samson, but not the captain, the wicket-keeper. Because we've seen a mixed bag from him today. We have seen a brilliant run out, and we've seen two pieces of miscommunication on high balls. One successful, one not so.
Yeah, and unsurprisingly, I'm going to take the side of the wicketkeeper here. So the two high balls, one which ended up being a successful catch, but the second one right at the back end there off Ashutosh, which has proven a little bit costly. Remains to be seen how costly, but high balls like that, if the keeper's got time, and this is match awareness. Those fielders that are underneath it, they know they'd have to, it's loud, but they have to know the keeper's probably encroaching somewhere. So even if you've just got a peripheral vision, you've got to have an awareness that he's coming into that space. Got the gloves on. He got to both those catches quite easily in the end. That's fair game for a wicketkeeper. So whether it was just too noisy, or I guess that's the only excuse that they haven't heard each other. But for mine, they're wicket-keepers' catches.
You're kind of yelling all the time, though. I mean, the whole way. I mean, if you got one of those, you're always you're mine.
Absolutely.
As you're going. So you'd hope that by the time they get within this close, he could hear him.
You got to be aware of it.
You would hope so. And I agree. So he got to that second one relatively comfortably in the end, and
I think wasn't it just Avesh's hand that hit his, and they just kind of everything just collided. The ball, Sanju's hands, and Avesh's hands, right? Everything collided, and the ball.
So that was I guess a low point, but the run out was a piece of brilliance. Absolutely. Dhoni-like. I mean, Dhoni was so creative in those sort of moments, what little backhand flicks or just, pretend to take it and let it go or whatever. So, so creative, so well thought. But the match awareness, that the technique, if you watch a replay of it, there was the throw from the deep. Livingston sets off wanting to get back for a second, gets turned back. But Samson just knew his body was going away from the stumps, so doesn't take it like a more traditional way, turns the body, gets it there so in the motion can then throw it back at the stumps. So as I say, that's like MS Dhoni, who is the fastest hands in the West.
That's a good compliment coming from Adam Gilchrist, because when you watched it and you watched the replay as well, Dooley, it almost seemed like he had thrown it before he had caught it. That's how smooth it was.
Yeah, that was brilliant, because he gave with it as it came and then just went straight back again. Poor throw. But the good thing about the throw was that he got rid of it quickly, and sometimes that can't be underestimated either. The pressure on when you get rid of it quickly. I just probably don't know whether there was two in it, but it was slightly lazy running because Ashutosh did not want a second. He was thinking maybe it's the second last ball of the over. He was no interested in running two.
I don't think there was a second in it, though.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure. Livingston was desperate to get Ashutosh back on strike, I think. But look. In the end, it was a brilliant bit of work.
Yeah, and that brilliant bit of work has saved them a lot of runs, because Liam Livingston was opening up. You could see there was 1-6 that he crashed into. Geez, the second tier, that was good. That was crunch.
We talk about not bowling slot balls or, getting up that step hit sort of too full. You don't want to get into that zone where it's just a little prop forward and they can hit you back down the ground. But for Livingston, the slot area is at the exact length on that one. It's a little bit shorter, but it's more a baseball swing across, and he just picks it up over sort of square or even backward square sometimes. But it's a beautiful swing of the bat. And you could see that a little bit rusty, Livingston, understandably, from having a few games out, but it looked like he was just about to pull the trigger. So that, again, enhances the value of that run out.
Yeah, you may think we're only talking about the last 5-6 overs because we only saw those. No, we saw the whole thing. And we want to get to the ginger part, which is the first 10. And a bit of a march past from the top order. Yeah, in they come, out they go. In they come, out they go. Because this very slim pickings, right, from that entire, if you have a look down that scorecard, there's not much going on.
No, well, they were 27 for 1 in the 4th over and then 70 for 5 in the 12th.
Yeah.
So there was just nothing doing. And they couldn't hit the ball off the square hardly. Nobody found their timing. I mean, Taide didn't find his time with her 15. Bairstow really struggled and then just spooned one to Hetmeyer. Prabh Simran the same. Sam Curran struggled. It wasn't until Jitesh came out, but he didn't really get going until a little bit into his innings. So it looks like it's a tough surface. It's not an easy one to bat on.
I thought Taide looked like he potentially was going to go. He was the one that hit those, I think, 3, maybe 4, well, certainly 3 boundaries off sand, just got a little bit wide. Some nice cover drives. And thought for a moment maybe that'll be the trigger to then get Bairstow, to buy Bairstow a bit more time to get into an innings. But in the end, it looked like Taide was, again, having not been playing, just a little bit short of match timing and just got hurried up on that one that he ended up going straight up in the air.
Yeah, they didn't have, I think they had just 4 boundaries they had 4 boundaries
in the power play. Yeah.
And that's a poor power play on any surface.
Yeah, I mean, good bowling again, they just didn't really give them much, but there was just nothing, not much on offer. And then when they did get something, they couldn't find the gaps hardly at all, apart from those boundaries that Gilly just talked about with Taide. And then Johnny Bairstow just completely mistiming everything. He's so badly out of form. And we've talked a little bit about this. He's a streaky player. If he's going well, Johnny Bairstow, he'll hit any attack out of the ground.
Yeah.
But when he's going badly, it just seems to be a bad run. He doesn't often sort of go 2 bad innings, then a great innings, and then a good innings, and then a couple of bad ones. And that he either gets 5, 6, 7 bad ones, or he just goes on a run of 5, 6, 7 innings where he's almost unstoppable.
Yeah.
So, I said the other night, I wondered whether they might have needed a change and try and get Riley Rousseau. I mean, number 4 is far too high for Sam Curran, with all due respect. He's not a T20 number 4.
Yeah.
He should be batting at 6, 7, 8 as a finisher as well. So they just haven't quite got that batting lineup right. I mean, it doesn't say they can't win. Bowlers can pull them out of this, but I'm not sure they've got that batting lineup quite right.
I think it's a really good point on Bairstow. We saw in that second segment there, overs 7 to 10, 3 for 15 in 4 overs. And Bairstow was very much a contributor to that, or lack of contribution, I suppose, more so. But when you're in that rut, and maybe this is a bit like Jaiswal has been, you're not quite watching the ball. I really don't think you're focusing on the ball. So when you're searching for runs, you're hoping a ball's going to be in a certain area, and that even then maybe the dismissal, you're hoping it's there to do something forceful with, and then it's not.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, you've chipped it. So it's sounds simple. Just watch the ball as closely as you can.
Yeah, and the same thing has happened with Prabh Simran. You saw him struggling as well. There was one really nice shot that he got for 4 over the inside ring, but otherwise there was really nothing there as well. It was not till it got to Liam Livingston, who hit a couple of big hits, and Ashutosh, it looks like he was batting on some other surface against some other bowlers for some other game. It just looked like, besides him, this would have probably been a run-a-ball chase for Rajasthan. So it's taken it up just beyond that little Ashutosh innings. We're just looking at saying, is Yashasvi going to come out to open with Sanju Samson, or, because Josh Butler's not playing, or are they going to throw maybe Jurel up front or something? What do you reckon? Can we see them? Are they coming on? Have a look.
I mean, I
what
think,
would you like?
Well, if you're trying to keep symmetry, and I know we talked about it prior to the show, and I thought that Sanju could open the batting. If you're trying to keep some symmetry and have Sanju at 3 and Parag at 4, then there's no harm in throwing someone into open.
Yeah.
No harm in throwing Dhruv Jurel, who's not really had a lot of time in that 5, 6, 7 spot anyway. He's not getting a lot of batting. They've got cover there with Powell, with Hetmeyer and Rodman Powell.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't mind seeing Dhruv Jurel there if they want to keep that symmetry with Sanju at 3, and which has worked so well for them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with that. I said before the game, I don't see it as an issue for Samson to go up.
Yeah.
No.
Because of his experience, and he's done it before. But that's a
symmetry
good
point is good.
particularly now with a lesser total. But just on the total, at the 10 over mark, where you fine gentlemen did the commentary box,
Yeah.
you did say it's not a 140 wicket, it's not a 170 wicket.
Yeah.
You said around 150, didn't you? I think somewhere around there, and they've got
They're in the game with a couple of early wickets. They're in the game, and if the spinners can, I think having burnt, for want of a better term, the impact player, and not the ability to bring a Rajasthan Chahal in, maybe just it tips the balance a bit more towards Rajasthan for mine, because you'd love to have another genuine.
And now
leg
your leg
spinner.
spinner's Liam Livingston.
Yeah,
so, he
he's
can
not,
do it.
Yeah. He's not the worst. He gives the one thing about Liam Livingston is he gives it a rip. He tries to turn it, and that's the one thing, for any kids, any coaches out there should be telling their kids, give it a rip. Try and really turn it. The accuracy, if you practice and practice and practice, will come. But there's no point in just running up and rolling your fingers over it, because you're not going to do anyone any good. So try and give it a rip. Really try and turn your leg spinner. Try and turn your off spinner. And at least Liam Livingston does do that.
Okay, I have it now. I know who's coming out to open. So they have gone with the symmetry. So there's Sanju Samson at 3 and Riyan Parag at 4. Yashasvi Jaiswal, the impact sub, so he's coming in. Who's with him? I'm going to give you 3 choices. All right? Is it Dhruv Jurel? Is it Tanush Kotian? Is it Rodman Powell?
Oh, I hope it's Rodman Powell.
If it's Rovers, there might not be a combox. I can tell you that much. It's
I just threw
Kotian.
that one in, huh?
It's Kotian.
It's Kotian. It's Tanush Kotian, right? So he's coming out to open. He was player of the series in the Ranji Trophy that Mumbai won. He was playing for Mumbai. So I'd like to see a little bit from him, maybe, and obviously from Yashasvi Jaiswal, because he's barely got 63 runs in the 5 innings he's played, and he is much, much, much better than that. So can he do it today? If he can, then our power play guesses will be different. If he can't, then our power play guesses will be different. It's a toughie.
You had 47 early.
I should have stuck with 47 and just added a 1 to it for the score. So I'm not going to move. I'm going to stay with it.
47?
Yep. I'm going to stay with it. 47.
Tough pitch, tough pitch.
I'm backing my big left-hander. I'm going a bit more than that. I'm going 56.
Jeez, he's plucked my number out of thin
Yeah.
air. I was always going for 56.
Is that your consistent number?
I avoid 56 like the plague because it's Scotty Styris' shirt number.
Okay, so I think I'm going to have to come right in the middle of this.
Hey.
Unfortunately. I think
What?
so. I would have said 51 and a half because that's smack in the middle, but that's not a score apparently in cricket. It's a short run, you don't get a half. Or what Liam Livingston did, you don't get a half for that. So I'll go with 52. 52.
Not a lot of wiggle room there, is
47,
it?
52, 56.
Power play doesn't have much wiggle room anywhere,
Okay,
right?
fair enough. All right.
Yeah, it doesn't. This is going to be a tough one. All 3 of us got the first one wrong. I think everybody got the first, but Punjab got it wrong. It was not us. It's not our fault. All right, but you never know. This could be good enough because this pitch does have something in it. But the Rajasthan batting, well, they're batting deep. They're batting big. You have Jaiswal and Kotian opening. You have the captain Sanju Samson in great form at 3. Riyan Parag in great form. He's number 2 on the run getter list behind Virat Kohli for the tournament. And then of course you have the 2 big hitters from the Caribbean. There's Shimron Hetmeyer. There's Rodman Powell. And then if there's anything still left, there's Dhruv Jurel. So you'd pretty much advantage Rajasthan, you'd say.
Easily advantage Rajasthan. They're going to have to bat indifferently, and I think Punjab are going to have to be at their absolute best with the ball.
All right. So I guess we're all in agreement.
Yep.
Advantage Rajasthan. But hey, strange things have happened with that Punjab team, right? You never know. You never know with them.
That's right.
What they did in the last 5 overs, maybe take that momentum into their bowling as well. We'll come back and have a look at that on Cricbuzz Live. But before that, we'll be there at the halfway house, Cricbuzz Combox at the end of the 10th over mark to see how this chase is going. So thank you so much for watching Cricbuzz Live. That's all for now.
Jaipur via Kota.
कृपया ध्यान आपो अहमदाबाद
दिल्ली में आपका स्वागत
ನಿಲ್ದಾಣದ ಕಡೆಗೆ ಹೊರಟಿರುವರೆ তিরুচিরাপল্লী
হাইদ্রাবাদ 50 এক্সপ্রেস পরবর্তী স্টেশন নেতাজি ভবন। Cricbuzz